All right, cool. Well, welcome everybody to our first multi-vendor Canadian webinar. We decided me and my colleagues were trying to figure out some way to be different and keep, top of mind and reach out to our reseller partners coast to coast. So we came up with this kind of idea of doing a fun little webinar related around the environment that we're kind of having today. So the goal today of the call is to talk a little bit about each of our solutions as a vendor and kind of what we're seeing right now in the marketplace, which, as I'm sure you guys can appreciate, is definitely a challenging one. But again, thank you so much for everybody that hopped on the line today. I will be your host and moderator as well as presenting as well. So I'm Noah from CyberPower. I have Ryan from Ergotron, Lawrence from Logitech, Mike from Sharp, and following Rui from Targus. So we're all going to present a little bit about our products. Each slide presenter will have a little quiz at the end. It's simple and easy and a way to get some cool prizes for attending today's calls. We'll also have Q&A. So if you guys have any questions or comments that you guys want to ask any of our panelists, please feel free. We'll pick basically 2 questions out there and answer that for you folks. There will be a follow-up email that will be sent out tomorrow. So everybody that had the opportunity to join the call today, again, thank you so much. That email will be sent out sometime tomorrow. I have a bunch of links and pretty much a lot of stuff that we're talking about today. You'll have that follow-up email. So without ado, I'm going to kick it off right now. So CyberPower, we want to be your ultimate ally in power. My name is Noah Jacobs. You guys might recognize me. I've been in the channel for probably as long as Mike Murphy, a long time, many years. I'm actually now at CyberPower for a month and a week. So I'm on week number 5. So fingers crossed, things are going well. But I'm super excited to be working with my channel partners again, coast to coast. As a proud Canadian, it's great to work with our reseller partners. And one thing that's so exciting, CyberPower is 100% channel friendly. We work through the Canadian IT distribution, Ingram, Tex, and XD&H, and I'm so happy that I get to continue on working with our Canadian reseller partners. So, what is CyberPower? CyberPower, we make professional grade UPS systems from 350 VA all the way up to 10,000 VA. We have PDUs, we have surge protectors, racks, mobile chargers. Basically, at the end of the day, we want to be your ultimate ally in power. Similar to my role in the past, people will always know if you send me an email, a text, or a phone call, I'll get back to you as fast as possible, no matter where I am in Canada or in the world. That's something similar that I want to do within, being with the CyberPower family. How do we do it? So CyberPower, we have feature-rich products. We have probably some of the best superior quality out there. As a manufacturer, we actually own the process from start to finish. So our manufacturer defects are super small. We have warranties from 3 to 5 years, including the batteries, which is definitely an industry leading in Canada. Also, as a Canadian, we are definitely priced very competitive in the marketplace. Now, getting to the goal of this whole webinar, what are we seeing in the marketplace? So the current trends in power that I'm kind of seeing related to COVID-19 is, first of all, we're all working from home. We're all doing this virtually. And I think we're all doing a great job at it. But we're seeing a lot of people replacing and upgrading IT network infrastructures in empty offices. I live in downtown Montreal, and I can't tell you how many offices I drive by in the morning that are just completely empty. This is a great time for people to go in and rip and replace. We're seeing a lot of large hotel chains that are unfortunately empty. This is a great time. We're seeing folks basically updating the IT background, the Wi-Fi, networking. You think about it, there's no disruption to anything in the hotel because nobody is there. And of course, like all my colleagues will be talking about today, we're seeing a gigantic rise in folks working from home. The other thing is we're seeing a very large increased demand for IT in the healthcare sector. I'm sure folks are sometimes out there at 7 p.m. clapping their pots and pans in support of the front care workers type of thing. We're definitely starting to see more of a demand in the IT side. So how can we help in 5 easy steps? So first of all, we have an amazing risk-free demo program. So basically buy one, get one, so to speak. You can work with myself, my colleague Mike, or my good old colleague Jeff. Basically, the way it works, if you have a customer that's looking to test a UPS up to 3,000 VA, we'd be happy to send them that UPS for them to test and try for 30 days. All they have to do is purchase another UPS that same value or greater, and they get to keep that first one for free. And if for any reason they're not happy with that UPS, me and my team would be happy to send a shipping waybill to get that returned to our depot in Toronto. Doesn't happen very often, but it's nice to know that we have you covered. One thing that blows my mind, again, I've only been up here 5 weeks of CyberPower, is our extended return privileges through distribution. Most vendors are 30 days. We extend it all the way up to a year. So if you have any problem with the UPS or something's wrong with it, just reach out to myself and my team, and we'd be happy to get that taken care of and returned, which is huge. This is point number 3 is probably core to my heart. People know you send me a message. This is probably one of the few times my phone's actually off right now. My phone normally is never off, but our goal is to get back to our partners in 60 minutes. Typically for me, it's probably 15 to 20 minutes, and that's something I like to work with my partners to make it fast. Now, what we're doing right now to help customers and their end users is virtual power audits. So me and my sales engineer team down in the States, we'd be happy to hop on the line with a customer, kind of figure out what they're looking for power and how we can help them out and help build a solution with yourself, the reseller, and the end user. We have unmatched bid pricing. We offer bid pricing on opportunities $1,000 or greater. And probably the most important in the battery world is we do free drop ships on order greater than $5,000 shipping to one location. So reach out to us, and we'd be happy to help facilitate that. But as you guys know, batteries aren't that light, so free drop ships definitely make a big difference. So work from home. I've had the privilege of working in a home office now for 15 plus years. So for me, it's common. But we're seeing a lot of people now working from home, and they have a company laptop or a company workstation or whatever it is, and they're just plugging it right into the wall. So it's really important to, work with our end users to ensure that their products are being plugged into a quality surge protector. Also looking at battery backups for, the basic wireless network at home type of thing. It's just really important that we guards the equipment that you're giving out to the end users. It also eliminates that downtime, which at the end of the day is really, really important. So this is something that we're seeing a lot more of requests right now, medical grade products. So Trudeau, being Justin Trudeau, had an announcement a couple of months ago about building a bunch of ventilators. And we're actually working with a company here in Montreal for over 10,000 ventilators, and they're actually going to be plugging them into one of our medical grade UPSs. So you're definitely starting to see much more of a demand for a lot of these type of products in this particular marketplace. And we're happy here at CyberPower. Not only do we have medical grade UPSs from 550, 750 up to 1100 VA, but we also have medical grade surge and power strips, which is huge in the actual healthcare environment. Super excited about our Q2 promo that goes till the end of June, which is just around the corner. We're offering extended 2-year warranty, so up to 5 years on our more of our professional grade units, so our online and smart app UPSs. So this is a zero cost to you guys, and we'd be happy to set that up and offer your customers that extended warranty. So again, my goal is to be your ultimate ally in power. I want to be the concierge for you guys. Anything related to power, make it super easy. You reach out to me, and I can always point you into the right direction. Definitely right now with the economy, with folks working at home and stuff like that. If you ever want myself or any of my other colleagues on the call today to hop on and do a team huddle or a call and go into a little more depth, that's something we'd be happy to help you guys out with. So trivia time is right up next. So my email address is noah.jacobs@cyberpower.com. And my trivia question is super easy. And it's, does CyberPower have a medical grade UPS? So true or false? I know people might be doing I'm looking at the chat window blow up right now. I think we're and people are raising their hands. But if you guys can actually email the answer to my email address as well as the other vendors, what we'll do is we're going to put everybody's name, put it in a hat, and then we'll draw some prizes. CyberPower, I can hear my phone blowing up right now. That's a good thing. So at CyberPower, we're going to be offering two $50 Amazon gift cards, which I'm super excited about. All right, so Lawrence can help me out in this section for some questions.
Yeah, received two questions here. First one is, does CyberPower offer a GEM rebate? If so, what is it?
That's a great question. Yes, we do have a GEM rebate program. So GEM is Government Education Medical, and we offer that 3% on all of our products, and it's set up directly at Canadian distribution. But good question. Is there another one?
Yeah, actually, we got one more question here. Does CyberPower have a channel or reseller program?
Yes, great question. So we have our Channel Partner Alliance, which is one of our programs that we've actually won quite a bit of awards for. Super easy to join. You can visit our partners page on our website. There's no minimums, no requirements to join. You receive an automatic 5% discount through distribution, as well as additional opportunities, discounts as well, based on bids. But it's a super easy program to join. We definitely recommend our partners to join in it. So that is my part. I have the pleasure now to pass it over to Ryan.
Hey, Noah, thank you very much. Great presentation. And thank you everybody for taking time out of your busy schedule to join the call today. So what I'll be talking about is a brand new solution that we have. We partnered with a couple of thermal imaging camera manufacturers, and the cart, and we actually attach it onto a medical cart. So I'll talk about why skin temp detection is very important. I'll go into a bit about why Ergotron. I'll talk about the solution, some benefits of having it on a cart, show you guys some qualifying questions, and then obviously the fun part, the trivia at the end. Perfect. So what you see there in the photo is a thermal imaging camera attached to one of our medical grade carts. And on the monitor there, there's the standard image to the left and the actual thermal image to the right. So what this cart will do is it'll actually test for an elevated skin temperature. So it's not going to detect for COVID-19, but it should be part of a company or an organization that requires foot traffic to be successful. It's going to be part of their solution for a return to normalcy. The idea is, organizations will have this at any kind of entrance to the building, where it'll test people as they walk in, helping the employees and their customers feel safe as they enter their establishment. Perfect, thank you. So a bit on Ergotron. We were actually founded in 1982 by a gentleman by the name of Harry Sweary. So Harry was actually an airline executive at Delta in Minnesota in the 80s. And this was, when computers became more prevalent in the workspace. And what Harry noticed was that as individuals got a computer at their desk, movement in the workplace stalled. So prior to that, individuals were walking from floor to floor, walking from department to department, much more face-to-face collaboration. But as you got a computer, your movement kind of stalled. If you weren't at that desk looking at that screen, you weren't being productive. So Harry, along with his brother, who was a chiropractor, kind of figured out, hey, repetitive movement long-term, probably gonna be bad for you. So Harry invented Ergotron. We build solutions that help people interface with technology in an ergonomic manner. So we've been in business for almost 40 years. We're a worldwide organization. We're an engineering company first with 200 plus patents pending and issued. We actually pioneered the first retrofit height adjustable desk. And those organizations you see there on the side, those are some of the large worldwide companies that currently implement Ergotron in their workspace. So what you see here is our cart with a Hikvision camera on a custom mount. What that mount does is it provides 8 feet of clearance between the camera and the cart. Now that camera needs to be up 8 feet in the air because it can actually detect an area of 3 meters by 9 meters and 30 people at a time. We've all seen, pictures and videos on the news of, individuals getting scanned, their forehead getting scanned with a scanner as they, enter a plane or whatever it is. Those scenarios, those solutions are very slow. They're very invasive, and people are more likely to try to evade them. What a solution like this does is obviously less evasive, as it can kind of sit in the background and scan individuals, less likely to have people try to evade them. What you see in the middle there is the network video recorder. Oh, sorry, one more back. Yeah, what you see in the middle is the network video recorder. That doesn't have to be networked. If it is, though, it will provide people off-site with the ability to see when the camera detects individuals with an elevated skin temperature. And the recorder actually sits inside of the tray, and that tray is lockable. So I'll give an example of a design consideration. So let's take Walmart for example, right? As of right now, imagine if you had to stand in line and get your skin temp tested before you can enter Walmart. You're probably less likely to do that, right? So something like this will sit in the background in the entrance of a Walmart and scan individuals, 30 people at a time as they enter. There'll be a green box around every individual's face, and then once that detects an individual with an elevated skin temperature, you can imagine it as the person who is stationed at the cart will approach that individual, hand them a card telling them what this means. It doesn't mean you have COVID. It just means you have an elevated skin temperature. Go back to your car, give me your shopping list. Let me do the shopping for you, and we'll bring it out to you. That's kind of how we envision this. We also actually have a backup battery that can be attached onto the cart, and it will provide this solution about 8 to 12 hours of battery life. So a little bit in the cart. Our cart is Health Canada approved. So we're actually in about 80% of the hospitals in Canada and about 60% of the hospitals worldwide. And that's not only in carts, that's across our entire line of business. The nice thing about the cart is it provides a flexible install location, right? The camera is sensitive to seasonal temperatures. So in winter versus summer, the camera would need to be repositioned. And solutions like this on a cart provides a self-contained unit where, depending on how the camera is reacting to the temperature inside or outside, you can move the cart around. I think the fact that it's a medical grade cart is big for this as well too. Sorry, one more back, Noah. I think the fact that it's a medical grade cart is big for this as well too, simply because I think it alerts individuals that, hey, you're entering an area where your health is gonna be looked at. Your health is a concern, and it shows that companies are taking your health into consideration before opening back up to the public. The NVR, as I talked about, can sit in that top tray there, and it is lockable, so it's not going to grow legs and walk away. And I also want to bring it to attention too that it's probably a good idea to have the organizations kind of consult legal and HR, just to let how to handle someone who tests positive on this. Just some quick qualifying questions. I think the first one is pretty self-explanatory. You can ask companies who are looking at opening up. Provincial guidelines are in place. There's phases, and companies that can adhere to these guidelines quickly will be able to open up. So sorry, no, back one more, buddy. Oh, there we go. Yeah, how will you convince your customers, employees that it's safe to enter your business, right? We've all got the emails from Marriott, Air Canada, and so on and so forth, talking about the cleanliness, the increase in cleanliness. What other options are they going to add to make people feel safe? Is fever detection part of return to work in your reopening strategy? And this one's obviously big important as well too. But what does it cost every day that your business is shut down? What does it cost to not have that foot traffic? Some ideal customer targets. We've had some great success in the States. Amazon is currently utilizing these solutions in their schools. For those of you that have kids, are you going to feel comfortable sending your kids back to a school environment where schools don't take all the precautions necessary to make your kids feel safe? Any kind of office buildings, I would say pretty much anywhere where foot traffic is required for the business to be successful. All right, and trivia time. Again, just some housekeeping. Send the email, send the response to me. So how many people can this solution detect at one time? Just slip me the email, and I will be picking a winner out of the hat, and the winner will win one of our dual monitor mounts. Thank you so much.
Cool. Thank you so much, Ryan. I just realized when I'm looking at the questions people are asking, and I scroll, it advances the slides. So I do apologize for that.
Oh, no worries.
All right, I got two questions. I got a question from Victoria. BC. What is the expected battery life of the carts?
Yeah, great question. So I said in the presentation is about 8 to 12 hours. And the reason why I give a range of that or a range like that is because it all depends on kind of what's on the carts, right? If you have a bunch of different devices hooked up, that's obviously going to need a battery life. But I would say if you have your all-in-one, or in this case with just the NVR and the camera, you're probably looking about 8 to 12 hours of battery life.
All right, good. And last question, I'm looking from Montreal. What is the warranty of the cart?
Great question. So our carts come with a 5-year warranty on it.
All right, cool. Well, Ryan, thank you so much. Again, I'll put your slide up there again. So if you know the answer to this question, please send your email to Ryan at Ryan, how do you pronounce your last name?
Different for different people. So sometimes it's Soar, sometimes it's Suarez, Soares,
okay. Right.
Whatever you guys would like feel comfortable with.
All right. So send your answer to Ryan. All right. We're off next to my good friend Lawrence from Logitech.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone, and good morning to the West Coast as well. Thank you again, Noah, for hosting this great forum of our council here. And special thanks again to everyone that's attending our webinar today. Today, we just wanted to highlight what's been happening. So there's 3 different things that we wanted to cover in our presentation today. First is what's exactly happened. Next is what's coming up that's next. And then lastly, what's coming up that's new. So there's actually 3 challenges that we're seeing in the marketplace right now when it comes to video collaboration. The first one being is globalization. So as a result of everything that had happened, really the most successful businesses that have been able to move forward have been able to adapt and overcome with the current changes, but moreover had contingency plans in place and were prepared for what was happening here. The second thing that actually happened that we saw in the world was business travel, as well as long commutes have changed. I know, like the rest of our colleagues, yeah, very happy that I don't have to wait in an airport for a long time or do that long commute anymore. So it's kind of nice that we've seen that change. The third biggest change that we've seen is remote work was on the rise. So everyone, because of work from home mandates globally, really had to scramble and get some equipment on hand just to make their jobs function and move forward from working from home. And there was actually one last thing. I know I mentioned 3, but there's actually a bit of a extra one there is we actually all became teachers overnight. So here's an example of how someone got creative with their Brio webcam. The iMac computer, the camera on there was too high for our partner's kid. So what he did was he actually set up our Brio webcam using Legos on a custom stand. So super cool to see that innovation. So between all these 3.5 challenges that we saw, there is a common thread between them. And basically the common thread that we're seeing is to overcome these challenges and move forward, video collaboration was key for a lot of these people to continue with business. So a lot of companies were demanding video collaboration solutions that help them accelerate decision making, help increase that productivity, had that unlimited reach globally to connect with people, still maintain that deeper, meaningful connection with their customers to give them that competitive edge. But moreover, a video collab solution that helped them streamline workflows, make things easier from working from home, help reduce that cost of getting that capital expense at home as well, and then still maintain that communication and have an engaging sales force with that communication. And that's the great thing about the Logitech video collaboration solutions is our mission really is to provide tools that make video meetings easier as well as better than actually being there in person. So very happy that we cover a wide range of solutions for video collaboration. As you can see, there's some solutions that are there on the screen slide, but if we go to the next one, you can see that really we have solutions for all the different scenarios coming up. So as we transition to this new world of work, whether it be desktop working from home or maintaining that space within the office, we have those solutions there. Even for the small, medium, and large rooms as well, to maintain that space, or as people actually transition into what they're going to do with their meeting rooms, we're able to provide solutions in each of those scenarios as well. So we just wanted to highlight some new updates that have happened with Logitech as well as what's coming down the pipeline, but we wanted to make sure everyone was equipped for this new transition of world of work. So first one is we beefed up our work from anywhere site and added some new remote work resources. So we've actually created a microsite, and we'll send off the link at the end of the presentation, but it's a great resource that shows all the different webcams, headsets, as well as work from home accessories that people need to continue with their business. The second thing that we are introducing for work from home, sorry, no, it was just on the previous slide, was we're actually introducing some new Teams headsets. The one that I'm wearing right now, which is a wireless zone headset, that one's been out for a while, but we're actually coming out with a certified Teams one, as well as a certified wired headset as well. Second thing that we did was actually release some new education tools for everyone. So we've been hosting some regular webinars to assist with distance learning as well as with students in the field. We've actually come out with a lot of certified solutions that are certified to work with that Google Classroom atmosphere. But moreover, we did want to introduce you to Lynette Whitfield, who's based in Calgary. She's our new education lead for Canada, and she'd be more than happy to help out with your education opportunities and making sure everyone's equipped in your provinces. The last thing that we introduced was new healthcare solutions. So because of that sudden rise, much like my colleagues on the call here have indicated, there was a sudden rise in telehealth as well as telemedicine solutions. So people wanted to continue their business, but still keep that distance from everyone and practice that social distancing. So as you can see, we have created a new healthcare microsite. I'll send out the link at the end of the presentation. But as you can see on the screen, we've got everything from doctor stations and personal collaboration solutions to medical cards, especially for the Ergotron cards, to add our cameras in there as well. And then traditional meeting solutions for administration in the hospitals and the health authorities. So we've got a wide gambit of solutions that cover everything about healthcare. But the reason why all these health authorities are gravitating towards our solutions is A, it's USB plug and play, ready to go. But B, they love the fact that you can actually wipe down our electronics. So using those Oxivir wipes at the health authorities or 70% concentration alcohol wipes, no problem. You can readily wipe it down in any of our equipment. Cool. So a couple new changes that we're introducing in the next couple months. Well, Barco we introduced last month, so it's a new partnership that we formed. So all our audio and video endpoints will be paired with Barco ClickShare products, the CX20 and the CX30. Another exciting partnership that we're just getting off the ground right now is with Lenovo. And we've actually set up some bundles with our Tap One Touch meeting joint controller, and we've actually now paired it with the Lenovo M920 series tiny computers. So you'll see those bundles available through Tech Data as well as the rest of the distributors as well. Three other announcements as well. Extron, we formed a partnership with them. So with our Tap One Touch meeting joint controller, we've actually created customized integrated screens to control lights, shades, temperature control, video sources through the Extron components. Crestron has also partnered with us as well. So with their Crestron Flex, they're actually adding in our audio and video endpoints to that mix as well. And you'll see a question mark on the screen. There's going to be a new partnership that we're forming. I can't release any details right now because it's under NDA, but expect that news to be probably late summer. Brand new partnership that we're forming once again. I think you guys will be really, really happy with who we're partnering with next. So all the links that I had mentioned, I will forward at the end of the presentation. So I've included some of the links on the resources that we discussed today, as well as some of our new partnerships, the new healthcare microsite, as well as the new education microsite, as well as a general link to our Video Collab products, which really have solutions for all the different scenarios as people return from work. Cool. And thank you so much, everyone, for attending today's presentation. Quiz question. We're going to offer up a Logitech MX3 mouse. And for those of you on the call who already have that mouse, you know it's a pretty sweet one. So our question today is, does Logitech make video collaboration solutions for healthcare? Please email me at llindawan@logitech.com. So that's 2 L's, llindawan@logitech.com. We'll make sure we send out that Logitech MX3 mouse directly to your address. And thanks again, everyone. And thank you, panel. And thank you, Noah, for organizing today's session.
Thanks, Lawrence. All right, so let me look on here. I got some questions. What was that lady contacting Calgary? That was one of the questions.
Oh, yes, that would be Lynette Whitfield. I'll make sure that I email that out as well. She's our new education and healthcare lead.
All right, so there's one question from Toronto. What are the top industries requesting Logitech video collaboration solution? Are there
Fantastic
any
question.
emerging, it's a two-part question, I guess. Are there any
Oh,
emerging industries?
Oh yeah, no, super great question. Whoever asked that one, that's an awesome one. So emerging industries, obviously enterprise work from home solutions. So make sure you recommend your cams as well as your headsets. And we are going to see a second wave of this, probably closer to September. So definitely get your orders in right now. The other emerging industries that we're seeing are education has been hot for us because all the students have transitioned to home learning or distance learning. Healthcare, as I had mentioned, when it comes to medical carts as well as wipeable video collab solutions at the workplace. But the biggest emerging industry that we're seeing right now is actually legal. So a lot of legal people, whether it be solicitors, litigators, even Supreme Court, we are seeing an influx of requests from them. So if you are interested in pursuing that and promoting more of our products with that vertical industry, please let us know. Let's get in contact and let's work it together.
All right, and last question from Calgary. What
Mhm.
Logitech solutions would you recommend for healthcare mobile carts?
Oh, fantastic question. And it pairs nicely actually with the Ergotron cart that you actually saw with Ryan there. So I'd actually recommend our Meetup camera. It's a nice all-in-one solution. It's got that 120-degree field of view, 4K, just a very simplistic all-in-one with audio and video all-in-one camera. And then the second one I would recommend is our Rally camera. That'll give you 4K UHD resolution. It sits nicely on top of that Ergotron mobile cart.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, Lawrence. I really appreciate it. All right, so I have
Thank you.
the pleasure to pass it over to my good friend, Mr. Mike Murphy from Sharp.
Thanks, Noah. Thank you to everyone. My name's Mike Murphy, as Noah just said. I'm the Director of Sales at Sharp Canada. And today I'm here to talk about what trends you might be seeing in the meeting space. So there's no doubt we're under a period of mega change, driven by the COVID-19 virus. And that change has been felt in our personal lives, obviously at the workplace, and it's really only just begun. Some interesting, actually astounding statistics out there in terms of the amount of change that's happened from a workplace perspective. According to Stats Canada, the week of March 22nd alone, 4.7 million Canadians transitioned from full-time in the office to now working full-time at home. And there's no doubt that the majority of the people now that are working from home, we're all communicating by video. And the stats there seem to be the standards are quickly becoming Microsoft Teams and of course Zoom. And according to Microsoft Teams, they now have they went from 44 million daily users on March 15th of this year to in April 30th they grew to 75 million. And that just underlines globally what's happening. And if you look at peak rates through the month of April, Teams peaked out at 200 million meeting participants in one day, and Zoom did 300 million meeting participants. So with all, with those factors, in hand, what are the trends that are going to be coming towards the workplace and in the meeting room, specifically in the workplace? And trend number one is there's a trend towards more meeting spaces, and this trend was actually happening before COVID-19 came along. And it was happening, the trend was really towards reduced square footage per person and increased flex space or meeting space in the office. And that was probably driven on a couple of, or at least it was shown in a couple of ways, whether it was smaller desk space per person or even random desk space per person. So if it's a sales team that's hoteling, they might not have any dedicated space. And that extra space was then transitioned to a place to have increased meeting spaces. And the COVID-19 virus and the reality that we just saw in that previous slide has accelerated that tenfold. And so for that reason, our customers are going to need, or they're going to start finding that they're going to design their spaces to have more meeting spaces per square foot than they would have in the past. Trend number two, we're going to be looking for larger screens. And even before COVID, the workspace actually, so once the workspace reopens, there's going to be a required need to pay attention to increased physical distancing. So what might have made do for a 4-person huddle station might need the space of a traditional 6 or 8-person huddle station. And so really what ends up happening with that is we're all going to move a little bit further away from the screen, and obviously the logical need will that the screens will have to get bigger so that the content can be viewed from that additional distance. Trend number 3, upgraded rooms. There's stats out there that show that only 5% of the current meeting spaces in North America are equipped properly with video conferencing technology. And the new standard is now meeting by video. So it brings the opportunity that we can work with our customers to ensure that they've got a seamless video conferencing experience once we get back up and running. And the fourth trend is financing and unique financing options. And the first phase, I think, of once COVID hit, there's definitely winners and losers when a pandemic hits. Now, obviously, we're all talking about targeting healthcare. We're targeting different verticals that seem to be accelerating. But the reality is the majority of the businesses are in some sort of belt tightening or cash crunch, and right down to having serious cash issues. And so that first phase is really that the belt tightening, where most of the partners we speak to, they've kept busy by implementing book business, and that's running them through till about now. And while new projects are kind of on hold, there's a bit of a spending halt to see what's going to happen. And then as we get through this next little while, and we get a sense of, okay, the offices start to open again, there's the commerce that starts to begin again in a way that our customer bases were used to it, the spending will open up again, but it's going to be scrutinized more than it has been in the past. And so for that reason, it's going to be a stretching of the dollar. And what it'll mean is that the entire channel, we're all going to get squeezed, and there's going to be negative pressure on margin as we get into Q3 of this year, maybe into Q4. And so bringing extra value is going to be critical, and making sure that it's a solution that's going to bring value is going to be absolutely important to the next step. And being creative. And I look at a unique financing option that's been kicked around for about 10 years. In the AV space is AV as a service, and that's never really caught on. This might be a moment in time where your customers might find that they do have that project that either has been on hold for a while. Now they've got to get it going again, but they don't have the capital there yet. And so maybe there's a way to provide that as a service. And the interesting thing is that Sharp actually, we actually have all of our print business sold as a service essentially. So we know how to do that, and we're happy to consult with you to help you understand how to get by objections and how to position and how properly help your customer switch over to a project that might be, rather than capitally purchased, but purchased as an operating expense. So one of the main products that Sharp's been promoting recently is a brand new product called the Windows Collaboration Display, and that's actually a term coined by Microsoft. And this product has actually come to market as an co-engineering feat with Sharp and Microsoft. And we brought this product to market. It's been on the market for a couple of months now, so maybe the pandemic couldn't have been a worse timing. But we've actually had a lot of positive, we've had lots of success with it. And this product fits very nicely into the post-COVID world. And so what makes it unique is the fact that first of all, it's Microsoft approved. And this is the only display in the market that has achieved that Microsoft approval, that's achieved that technical requirement that Microsoft put as a standard in terms of what it wanted to have for an audio, a video connection in terms of that experience that your customers might have. And so happy to say that this product here is the only one. It's a 70-inch screen. It comes with its own camera. It's got a camera and a microphone array. As you can see on the image there on the right-hand side, that's not a second camera. That's actually a sensor hub. And so it's an intelligent display. And but really what makes this product unique is that, one, it's Microsoft certified. Two, it's easy to use. And easy to use is really wrapped around a couple of things, but most specifically, it's easy to connect to. And Microsoft's been marketing that it takes 12 minutes of every meeting to get up and running. And this basically allows you to eliminate that. And through the connection technology and the switching technology that Sharp's developed along with Microsoft, we've taken away that situation that when you have somebody come and present in your organization and they're getting ready to present and you're hitting function F7 or function F12, that's a thing of the past. So, the new connection trends are going to be important. And what this one does is it gives additional options. So one, it's optimized, around Microsoft platforms, including Teams, and we know that's one of the most popular platforms based on the stats I showed earlier. But of course, Microsoft 365 or any other Microsoft platform your customer might be standardized on, this product's going to marry in nicely with it. And so from a connection perspective, you've got a couple of options. You can connect it in through a USB-C connection. That's actually the next generation of connections in terms of display technology, because of the fact that it's a nice, slim USB connection, and it allows you for video, audio. If you want touch, it's there. And of course, it powers the laptop as well. So a nice, clean connection. But in the post-COVID world, we might find that our customers might want to not have to touch as much as they can. So the nice thing about this product is not only does it have a clean plug-and-play plug-in connection, it also has a very clean wireless connection as well. So the experience could be the user would walk in the room, the sensor hub would sense that someone's there, it comes on instantly, no touch, no menu, no remote touch, no touching on the screen. And then they could wirelessly connect in. So Windows Key K, it'll pull up any of the wireless devices that are in the room, and you basically click on the screen that you want to connect with. It takes 3 to 5 seconds. It's clean, it's reliable, and you have a very, very clean, connected experience. So if customers are looking to reduce the points of touch on top of a meeting room table, this product fits in there really, really well. And then the nice thing about it is it's optimized for BYOD. And so while it can be set up with traditionally a meeting room might have a dedicated PC to the screen. Sometimes this product would have a dedicated PC, a mini PC on the back. This one can do that, which is great if your customer wants that. But if they're looking for, again, one less touch, timing's interesting, where our customer base has now just implemented a fleet of laptops to all of the users in-house. And so that BYOD will become more and more popular in the meeting space. And there'll be no reason why anyone in the company won't be able to come in and be able to connect into the screen with their own device and remove the ability to have to hit a control panel or keyboard or mouse or whatever it might be on a tabletop. And so the BYOD feature set of this product is very clean. Again, wirelessly connect in, and it's optimized for that. And so we've got Microsoft approved, we've got easy to use, meaning easy to connect with. And then thirdly, this product's really cool in terms of the fact that it's an intelligent display. And it's different than most other screens because of that sensor technology, and it's keeping track of a number of things that are happening in the room. As simple as a people counter, it's able to understand how many people are in the room, and you can adjust settings on your HVAC or whatever it might be if you connect it with a control system, and allow for, if there's more people in the room, the air conditioning goes up or down, or less people. You can have audio speakers, microphones adjusted depending on the number of people in the room. And now, most interestingly, you'd be able to keep track of how many people are adhering to maybe room size rules that might be involved in terms of what's happening in terms of rules for spacing, and if you have a limit on the number of people in the room. And so just before we get there, Noah, and then also it's got the fact that it can keep track of, health and safety is going to be interested in keeping track of air quality. So it's got CO2, toxicity levels, and it'll be able to keep track of all those things and bring reporting back to the business owner. Okay, there we go, Noah. So question, list 2 features of the Sharp Windows collaboration display that make it unique. So if you can send that to me, just like the other guys, to my email address, murphym@sharpsec.com. So that's SHARPSEC.com. And I'll be giving away 2 gift certificates for Uber Eats. So I'll be happy to send those to you guys electronically today.
Cool. Awesome. All right. We got tons of questions. First question from Saskatoon. What is the difference between the Sharp WCD and the Microsoft Surface Hub?
Good question. It's probably one of the most common questions we get because Microsoft's certified. It is very similar to the Surface Hub, but probably the first most obvious difference is that it's larger. It's a 70-inch size, where the Microsoft common size right now is a 50.5, so almost 20 inches bigger. 2, maybe the most important difference is that we use an open architecture. An open architecture, not just for the fact that it's got a removable PC on the back, But the fact that from a software perspective, while it's optimized for Teams, you can use Teams or Zoom or WebEx or whatever video conferencing software that's out there. And of course, channel program wise, we're we hear from our partners that our pricing strategies and our margins are attractive, not just comparing to Microsoft, but to other partners in the channel.
So I can hear your email, your inbox is blowing up as well. That's good. People are sending you answers. So lastly, from Ottawa, what opportunities are you seeing in digital signage resulting of this pandemic?
So on the digital signage side, outside of meeting rooms, so I think there's a couple of different places that you'll see an increase in opportunity. One, in the corporate space, digital signage screens, LCD screens, can be set up as corporate communication. So there'll be an increased need to share health and safety information, HR information, and that's a network that we can help you guys put together. But also at the point of entry, where there might be sometimes thermal imaging, or there might be just some sort of queue control, whether it's at an elevator or there'll be a number of different reasons why people will want to communicate at point of entry, not just in corporate, but on the retail side or in a restaurant. So there'll be opportunities from an LCD perspective in the digital signage side as well.
Cool. Thank you so much, Mike. All right. So our last panelist of the day is my good friend Rui from Targus. So we'll bring Rui up. All right.
Good afternoon and good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, Noah, for helping us put this together. Just going to talk to you guys today a little bit about some of the changing trends we're seeing in our business and the categories we play in, and a lot of it being driven by COVID and the changing workplace. So people obviously moving from the office and now working at home. So just highlight some of the categories. We're seeing strong growth in input category. So mice, keyboards, no secret there. Again, people, had their hardware at the office. Now they're working at home. Stylists as well. Even presenters. I didn't put presenters on there, but stuff that potentially people used to share in the past at the office. Now a lot of IT buyers are looking forward, the return to the office. People don't want people sharing stuff like presenters and so on. So there seems to be an increased demand for presenters, again, and outfitting people with their own hardware. So USB adapters, not UBS, should be USB. USB adapters, again, a lot of people have these peripherals they need to connect to their notebooks. And, their notebooks now in a lot of cases have 2 USB-C ports. So it's kind of limiting. So there seems to be, there's an increased demand in these travel adapters. Same thing with docking stations, although we find docking stations more in the workplace or sitting on people's desks. But again, allowing people to connect their peripherals to their laptops. Chromebook cases, a lot of it driven by e-learning. So a lot of school boards are giving or lending out the Chromebook devices. So they're looking at ways to protect and have the students carry them around. Same thing with iPad and Surface cases. There are some school boards that are actually rolling out Surface devices to students, and they're looking at ways to protect those units. Notebook cases, on the flip side, people have been given laptops. They're not traveling to and from the office. They're being told to stay home. So the need to have a notebook case or travel with a notebook case has dropped, hopefully short term. The same thing with physical security. So, cable locks, privacy screens, people are working within their own homes, no need for those devices. So the rebirth of the stylus, we've had styluses around for 5 or 6 years. A couple years back, this was the back to school item. Everybody was buying a stylus. I don't know who was using them, but we were selling tons of them. We're finding an increased demand for the styluses, and a lot of it, again, people that are sharing, these devices that have touch screens. They don't want people touching them with their fingers. They rather give, each user stylus. There's some that have stylus and pen. Again, just trying to eliminate the multiple people touching that device. This is also something that we can custom logo. So if there is a requirement, reach out and we can give you some details on how to put your customer's branding on it. Our travel ready adapter. So this is relatively new for us. Probably the last 3 months, we've launched a series of travel adapters. These are all USB-C. Again, a lot of notebooks now, or most notebooks now, will have predominantly USB-C ports. Some of them losing a lot of the USB 3 ports, losing the VGA and HDMI ports. So these adapters enable or allow you to connect, again, monitors, mice, keyboards, and so on to your notebook. They're lightweight. They are compatible with Thunderbolt 3 as well, and they're also compatible with the different platforms, so Windows, Mac OS, and Chrome. Our universal docking stations, so we have a pretty wide range of docking stations. Our Dock 190 is by far our #1 selling unit. And the reason for that, it is a truly universal dock. So whether you have a user that has an older laptop that does not have USB-C, it still has USB 3 and the old barrel tip power adapter, this guy will work with that. It'll provide power and data to that unit. And on the flip side, if you have somebody that has a USB-C notebook that takes power and data through that USB-C port, this one will allow for that. It'll charge up to 100 watts. And we have power tips, again, if you're supporting the legacy devices, that'll cover off the Asus Compact, HP, Dell, Fujitsu, and so on. So a truly universal dock. The good thing about this dock too, we're finding it in hoteling environments, is if you have a fleet of notebooks right now that are predominantly a bit older, don't have USB-C, it's future-proof. So later on down the road, you know, if you're now rolling out USB-C notebooks, you can lose the additional barrel cable, and it's fully compatible with USB-C. Chromebook cases. So we've played around in the space. Chromebook, I think, was a little bit later to adapt in Canada than the US. We're seeing a lot of rollouts out in Western Canada, but we do have a wide range of Chromebook cases. We are bringing in some more again to address the need. So covering off, you know, 14 or the 11 to 14 inch form factor, and most of these are tested to withstand a 4-foot drop. Same thing with our iPad cases. So we have iPad cases for the 9.7, 10.2, rugged, and also with built-in keyboard as well. Again, withstanding 4-foot drop test. Medical grade cases, we're seeing an increased demand for medical grade cases. Right now we have 2 in the lineup. This is an area we're looking to potentially expand. We have one for the iPad 10.2 and also for the new the newer Dell Latitude device. These are made of a material that's non-porous, so it's easily cleaned and sanitized with alcohol or bleach-based disinfectants. And on the rugged side, again, kids walking around with these devices that have been given to them. You know, people are looking for ways to protect it. So we have this one's relatively new for us, for the Dell 7200 series. That's new to Dell. A fully rugged case. It has a hand strap. It has a lanyard and offers that mil-spec protection. And same thing for the Surface. So we cover off the Surface Go, the 7, the 6, and the 5. The one case will cover off the 3 sizes. And now also for the Go and the recently launched Go 2 as well. Same idea, withstands a 4-foot drop. And then it also accommodates on the Microsoft side, it accommodates the Microsoft keyboard with the case. So our new Eco series, so hopefully when notebook cases come back up in demand, this new series is new to us. We've launched it probably, I'm gonna say 2 months back. It's in stock now, it's shipping out to distribution. It's a full series made of recycled water bottles. So every bag inside will be labeled with how many water bottles went into making this particular bag. So any companies that have an eco initiative, great option to consider. Price points are pretty much in line as all our other Targus cases. It's got a business casual look, trendy, and still backed by our lifetime warranty, similar to all our other cases. Okay, so here's our team. Elaine's out west, Susie here in Ontario, Chantel. Again, these are probably a lot of familiar faces. They've been with us for a long period of time. And then myself, here's our contact information. So if you have any further questions, you can reach out to us. And then our skill testing question. So which dock is the most universally compatible and the ideal option for hot desking or a hoteling environment? So if you know the answer, there's my email, rtristeo@targus.com, and we're going to give away a $200 Targus.ca voucher. So I'll reach out to the winner, and then we'll have you pick any item or combination of items that tally up to $200. Okay.
Cool. Thank you so much, Rui. Actually, we got 2 questions, both from out west, actually. Somebody from Winnipeg asked, Are Targus docks fully compatible with the MS Surface Pro 7?
That's a good question. So we were compatible with the previous, the 6 and the 5 on the Surface Pro series. Through we would do data through the Surface. The challenge is Microsoft at that point still had their proprietary power tip and data connector. So the only thing at that point we're able to utilize was just data. Power was a bit of a struggle. You'd still have to use the Microsoft cable for that. Luckily now, moving into the Surface Pro 7 and the Go series, they have fully implemented USB-C. So now any one of our USB-C docks you'll be able to use with the Surface 7, Surface Go, and you'll be able to use, it'll do the data portion, and it'll also power the device as well. So the answer is yes. Any of the Pro 7s or the Go series, fully compatible.
Awesome. And last question from Edmonton. Does Targus offer eval units to customers if they want to test the product?
Sure, yes. I mean, especially when you're talking docking stations, a lot of people, when you're talking third-party docking stations are hesitant on considering and trying or buying universal docking stations. So we do. I mean, reach out to any one of your local reps, and I'll send out the contact list after as well. And we can put some eval units in your hands, test it out for 30 days. And if there is any issues, we have a group of engineers that kind of sit in the background and support us. We can work through some of those issues if there are any issues, more so on the docking stations. And then on the cases and so on, a lot of that stuff is very much a user, users are more specific, have certain requirements. We can put an assortment of cases in your hands so that you can narrow down an assortment. So
cool. Perfect. Well, that brings us to the end of our session today. So again, we will be sending out a follow-up email to the folks that attended later on today. So again, thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Lawrence. Thank you, Rui. Thank you for everybody that attended. I'm looking to do this in French. Moi, je fais ce webinaire en français le fin juin. So I'm going to be doing this webinar in French at the end of June. So you'll see an invite for your colleagues in French. So I'm going to stop the recording.